Hello and welcome, it's Ian, Handyman Plus Van. What is that bright orange thing in the sky? It's kicking out a lot of heat. Wow, no idea. Anyway, today I've been fixing a fixing a fence post. And that was fun. Yes. So if you want to book me, it's very simple. You just go to my website, book me in, and that's it. I like to try and make things as simple as possible. And customers that make my life easy, well, I kind of reward them by not charging for parts. Little parts I'm talking about, less than £5. So don't get excited. Don't think I'm going to give you away millions of pounds for free, because I'm not, because I'm, not exactly minted. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a handyman. I'd probably be just traveling the world, just filming myself. That'd be beautiful. So yeah, booking me in is pretty simple. I charge using PayPal. Now, why do I charge using PayPal? Who can guess? Well, it's pretty simple. I charge using PayPal because it protects the customer, and it's also the same thing that's been used for 20 plus years now. It's a very good system, because obviously if customers do have a problem with my work, which it's only happened once, and then I am a really, really nice person, so obviously you got to be careful with that. On the equally, you got to look after and make sure people are not just taking the Michael. But most customers are just lovely. I have a really good filter system, and obviously I use like AI, metadata, all of that to sort of like, cut out all of those sort of like not so good people, and that's good. And obviously I started out in software. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I'm going backwards, because the first kitchen I fitted, I was just 16 years old, and I fitted my mom's kitchen, which was beautiful. I think I've got some pictures of it still, which I might put online. It was a very simple galley kitchen. There was nothing exciting about it. I didn't have to do any sort of corners. So when you cut in the corner of a worktop, I went to a customer's house, and she had hers like fitted by a professional, and I was just like, well, they didn't do it professionally. They haven't done the little miter thing, that thing that takes like years to perfect, and you have to do loads of training for, something that I can do because I have the tools to do it. It's called a hidden join. So if you want a hidden join for your kitchen worktop, then definitely, book me in. Simple. Hidden joins, depending on the size of the worktop, where it's going, what it's doing, they can take a long time. Don't be fooled that I'm just going to turn up and do it in 3 hours, because it's not. I mean, probably I can get quite a bit of it done, but no. Fixing a fence post in 3 hours, very doable. Even though this fence post, on one side of it was literally thick brambles with the thorns, and yeah, that was hard work. That was pretty tough. Made me cry a little bit on the inside, a little bit of cry. But if you are feeling sad, and a lot of people are feeling sad out there, there are the Samaritans. There are people that can help you. So the age group that I worry about the most is if you're 15 to 29-year-old and Caucasian, you are in the highest group of committing suicide. And recently in the news in Swindon, even though they've not confirmed how he died, there's a lot of speculation that it probably was suicide. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to say anything more about it, but it's just to put the message out there that the reason I always say, if you can be anything, be kind, is because young lads are really, really, really struggling because they don't talk. Women do talk, and there's those statistics to back it up. So out of every 4 suicides, 3 of them are men, or young men. And it's an epidemic that we need to stop. It's something that we need to, as a society, as a collective, we need to sort of like help them, embrace them, let them find, what they want to do in life, and just encourage them, because, growing up in this society is really difficult. You've got TikTok, which is sort of giving our children brain rot. You've got all these other sort of different platforms that are sort of destroying our young children's minds, and it's something that we as parents, as a collective, we must sort of like come together and fix. I try and fix everything. If I could fix the world, I would, but unfortunately, I'm just a little handyman. I've been through a lot of very tough situations myself in life, and I know that I can definitely help people, because I've been there. I've got the postcard, and I'm on your side. I am on your side. I get you. And there's support out there. The real question is, why didn't this young man get support earlier on? Why was he not able to get support from the NHS or from any of those sort of institutions? The typical response of "man up, you should just man up" is not good enough, because men have more problems than women. They just don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it. I talk about everything with everybody. Not necessarily good. I should filter things, really, but I try not to filter things because that's just me, and I never have filtered things. I'm always like the one that tells the truth, and that's how I was sort of like raised to be a good, honest citizen. I was in the police for a few years, and I was also in the RAF as well. So I've done it all, traveled the world, seen everything. It's all good. And doing those things for your society, for your community, are very important. And I do think national service is not a bad thing. It helps to sort of like focus our children's minds to be better. It helps discipline. It helps with a whole world of things. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I'm a handyman, so I really shouldn't be talking about suicide on a Friday afternoon. Bit controversial, but then when have I ever not been controversial? I think I've always been controversial. Just part of me, part of how I work. But it's not necessarily controversial. It's sort of pointing out the problems. I would be the little kid that would point to the emperor that had no clothes. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a story tale. It's a children's story, all about an emperor that has no clothes, and all of the villagers were very scared to actually point it out that he had no clothes. But there was one little boy who did. So good for him. But if you can be anything, be kind. I love you guys. Have a great weekend.